I know. It looks like a completely new Hyundai Santa Fe, but it's not. It's just had a really big update, but a lot has changed. You should see what it looks like inside, and we're going to go there in just a moment. But first of all, I'm going to tell you what the prices are and the new features. We'll also check out the new design, that face, and its insides. Then see how Practicality is. It's got a bigger boot now. We're going to cover all the new advanced safety tech. Then we're going to look at the engines and transmissions. There's new stuff there too. And the hybrid's coming. And then I'm going to tell you how much it is to own. You know, servicing costs and the warranty. I've even done a fuel test, so I can tell you what the fuel economy is too. And then we're going to go for a drive because even the suspension is new. So there you go. New. Well, not completely new. Now, those are the time codes right there. Find what you want, go straight to it. And if you're watching on YouTube, the chapter markers are just down there. Do the same thing. Now, if you want to read the full review, go to carsguide.com.au and give us a like and subscribe. Everybody is.
First, the prices. The entry-grade Santa Fe is now simply called the Santa Fe, and the petrol version lists for $44,700. And then above that is the Active for $48,300, and then above that is the Elite for $54,300. And at the top of the range is the Highlander for $61,700. Now those are the prices for the petrol variants, and the diesel versions are $3,500 more. You should know right now that the petrol Santa Fe's are front-wheel drive, and the diesel ones are all-wheel drive. Okay, here's what's new on the entry-grade Santa Fe. First, LED headlights. This is awesome news. The previous entry-grade headlights, and they were like tiny little candles. There's the 8-inch screen, that's also new. The previous one was only a 7-inch, and there's a wireless charger now too. Along with those new things, coming standard is Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, aircon, rear parking sensors, roof rails, and a rear view camera. The top of the range Highlander gets the most new stuff. There's 20-inch alloy wheels, so are 19 inches on the old car. There's also Napa leather seats, the 10.25-inch media display, a Harman Kardon stereo, and a 12.3-inch fully digital instrument cluster. There's also remote smart parking assist. That's on top of all the other standard equipment such as the sunroof and heated and ventilated front seats, heated steering wheel, and heated rear outboard seats.
Now, I am in the Highlander grade now, but underneath this is the Elite grade. Now, the Elite grade comes with that 10.25-inch screen. It also comes with a Harman Kardon stereo as well, just like in this car. And it also comes with stuff it had before as well, like sat-nav and an auto tailgate. Now, sitting above the entry grade is the Active grade. Now, the Active grade gets these paddle shifters. It also comes with terrain drive mode, so you've got like a mud and a sand and a smart and a sport mode. It also gets this fancy gear shifter down here, which is just buttons. Amazing, so futuristic. Along with all the usual stuff that it got before, like dual zone climate control, leather seats, not these ones, these are the fancy Napa leather ones. The Active grade also gets a proximity key and front parking sensors.
Design.
What just happened? Where did you go just then? Seriously, I haven't moved, but you disappeared and a purple thing came down and it went toot, 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 and now you're back again. Weird. Okay, design. So have you noticed that there are two really different cabins on the Santa Fe? Let me refresh your memory. So the entry grade cabin looks like this. Right. Now the rest of the cabins look like this, with this raised center console. I'll show you the other one. Looks like that. And the rest of them have this. Hyundai call it the command center. It's not a command center, it's just a raised center console. And you can get to the buttons easier and it looks fancier. But how weird is that you don't get this on an entry grade? Still, all grades have really premium cabins and all the exteriors do look the same.
Yes, thank Zeus for that. There's this new rectangular grille, and look at these T-shaped LED running lights. Around the back, the tail lights are now joined by this red reflective strip. But don't you reckon it's a shame the entire strip doesn't light up? One thing that hasn't changed is the little Santa Fe sun. It's still there. Yep, it's still there. The Santa Fe has new dimensions. It's 15mm longer, at 4.79 meters end to end. but it's 20 centimeters shorter than the new 8-seater Hyundai Palisade.
Hi, sorry, can we go back to that grille? Because it's messing with my head. You see, that grille on the Santa Fe looks nothing like any other Hyundai grille. So, what's happening, Hyundai? What are you doing? Everybody knows the rules. You got a car brand, every single model in the brand has to have a similar grille. It's called a family face. Are we looking at the new family face of Hyundai? What's happening? What's going on, Hyundai? What's going on?
Practicality. All Santa Fe's come with 7 seats, although those back ones are better suited for children, or elves. The second row has more room than ever before, so someone who's as tall as me, say 191 centimeters tall, can sit behind their driving position with enough room. Now the boot. With that third row in place, there's 130 litres of luggage space, which is the same as before. You fold that third row flat, and there's now 571 litres, which is 24 litres more than the old Santa Fe. Inside there's directional air vents everywhere, and door pockets here, and cup holders here, and plenty of USB ports. Safety. The Santa Fe gets new safety tech too. It already had AEB, which can detect cyclists, pedestrians and cars, but now from the entry grade up, there's a junction turning system too. So if you're turning right at an intersection with your indicator on, the Santa Fe will brake to avoid an accident with an oncoming car, cyclist or crossing pedestrian. Lane following assist is also new too from the entry grade up. The Highlander has parking collision avoidance now and blind spot monitor. All Santa Fe's have adaptive cruise control, rear cross traffic alert with braking and lane keeping assist.
Now that is amazing tech, but what's not so amazing is that the Santa Fe doesn't have airbags which cover the third row.
Engine specs.
And in more new news, there's new engines. There's a new petrol V6, and there's this, a new turbo diesel 4-cylinder. And those are the outputs right there. The diesel gets a new 8-speed dual clutch automatic transmission. Whoa. And the V6 gets a regular 8-speed auto. Hey, there's a hybrid coming as well. And if you get the diesel, you get one of these, a superhero shield and a sword.
Fuel use.
Hyundai says that after a combination of open and urban roads, the V6 petrol should be using 10.5 litres per 100 kilometres. 10.5. 10.5, that's pretty thirsty. The diesel uses less though. Hyundai says 6.1 litres per 100. We've been driving the diesel. I've driven 174 kilometres and the trip computer is saying 8.1 litres per 100. That's still, thirsty. What won't be thirsty will be the hybrid. It's coming soon and I'm expecting it to have really good fuel efficiency.
Ownership.
Sorry, this is a page turner. This is brilliant. Look, the Hyundai Santa Fe comes with a 5-year unlimited kilometre warranty, that's pretty normal. Everybody's got that these days. But what is pretty darn good is the cap price servicing. Now, servicing is recommended every 12 months or 15,000 kilometres. The diesel, $459 capped every visit for 5 years, and the V6 petrol is $399 capped per visit for 5 years as well. Excellent. So's this. Oh, I wonder what happens in the end. Whoa!
Now, let's go for a drive.
All right, so let's go for a drive. Now, the car that we're in here is the Highlander. It's the diesel Highlander, which means it's an all-wheel drive. Don't forget, the V6 petrol is a front-wheel drive only, and the diesel is all-wheel drive. So if you're planning to tow, go the diesel. The V6 petrol and the 4-cylinder diesel are both new engines. That's what Hyundai says. What is also new is the dual clutch automatic, which is in this diesel. The dual clutch in this car is so smooth, and being a dual clutch means that you can shift really rapidly. So you can shift down really fast just by hitting the shifting pedal, and then up really fast. That's faster than you can do manually yourself, and definitely faster than a regular 8-speed automatic. Also new for the Santa Fe is the chassis. Now, this is a little bit controversial. And when we talk about chassis, we're talking about the suspension, the coil springs and the shock absorbers. Now, the reason why this is a little bit controversial is because Hyundai normally tune the suspension for Australian roads. We have different roads here. So what they do is they set the cars up so they ride perfectly on Australian roads, and they really pride themselves in that. It's one of the reasons why Hyundais are generally really good to drive. This time round with this Santa Fe, they haven't done that. Well, they have given their input into the chassis tune, but the suspension tune that this car has is a global one size fits all. So, what's it like to drive? Are you ready? It's not as good as the last one. And look, Hyundai are gonna hate me saying that, but I've got to tell the truth. I've got one job, and that's just to tell you the truth. And what I mean by it's not as good to drive as the last one is, look, it's more comfortable to drive than the last one, but it's more floaty. I feel less planted, less connected to the road in this car than the last one. The body control in this car also doesn't feel as good as the previous model either. And by body control, I mean how much the car wobbles and how long it takes to settle after going over a dip or a bump or something like that. This body control doesn't really seem to be as good as that last model. Now, the only reason why it's not as good as the old one, I think, is because the old one was so good. And this car had really big shoes to fill, big wheels to fill.
Verdict.
All right, it is score time. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to give each section a score out of 10, and then at the very end, I'm going to give the entire Santa Fe range an overall score. So let's begin with design. I'm giving it an 8. You know what? This generation Santa Fe has always been really good looking. I think it's even better looking now. But what about the interior of the entry grade? Why doesn't it get that command center console? I'm still giving it an 8 out of 10. Price and features, it gets a 9 out of 10. Really good value for money there. For practicality, I'm giving it an 8 out of 10. Yes, that third row isn't as good as the Palisade, which has 8 seats, but it is good for occasional seating. For safety, I'm giving it an 8 out of 10. New advanced safety tech, even on the entry grade, fantastic. Engines and transmissions, new. Well, mostly new anyway, and hybrids coming soon. I'm giving it an 8 out of 10. Okay, for fuel economy, I'm giving it an 8 out of 10. Yes, the V6 petrol is thirsty, and the diesel is not as thirsty, but that hybrid is coming soon, and that is going to be impressively fuel efficient, I reckon. 8 out of 10. For ownership, I'm giving it an 8 out of 10. Yeah, look, pretty run-of-the-mill warranty, but the cap price servicing is excellent. Now for driving, I'm giving it an 8 out of 10. Now, I honestly believe that this new Santa Fe isn't as good to drive as the previous Santa Fe, but it had pretty big shoes to fill. Still, it's comfortable and it's also easy to drive. 8 out of 10. Now, the overall score for the entire Santa Fe range is 8.1 out of 10. Now, if you want to read the full review, go to carsguide.com.au, and don't forget, give us a like and subscribe. Subscribe!